Hi everyone, this is Aaron for Zollotech, and we're going to unbox and take a first look at the Samsung Galaxy Note 2 for Verizon. It's $299 with a 2-year contract on Verizon. Let's see what comes in the box here. Here is the Galaxy Note 2. Take this out, set it aside. Inside the box, nothing there. Normal literature. We've got our micro USB cable, micro USB to USB. Let's see what we've got here. Oh, it's a normal wall adapter, AC to USB. And then we have our battery. So let's take a look at the phone a little bit more. Let's rip this open here. Here's the battery itself. We'll talk more about that in a moment. Let's take this covering off here. Now the phone is 5.5 inches, or at least the screen is. The screen has a resolution of 720 by 1280, so it's a 720p screen. It also has a pixel density of 265 pixels per inch. So it's not super high res, but it's pretty high res compared to the others that are out there as far as pixel density goes. We have a 1.9 megapixel camera on the front, 8 megapixel camera on the back with LED flash. You can see there's our speaker. We have the little S Pen or stylus. We'll look at that in a moment. Micro USB, microphone, volume rocker on this side, 3.5 millimeter headphone jack. Looks like a noise canceling microphone, sleep wake power button, and that's about it. Let's pop the back off here. Let's see where we do that. It's up here. It's usually on the top or bottom. Now the back is really plasticky, just like the Galaxy S3. You can see it's flexible. Looks like it's got a little NFC, probably a coil under there or something like that. Here's the battery. We've got a SIM card slot and a micro SD slot. So internally, the phone has 16 gigabytes of storage and up to 64 gigabytes of upgradable storage. I have the SIM card here. Pop that in. Pop the battery in. Oh, I'm upside down here. Pop the battery in, and we'll clamp the back on. Now it does feel a lot like the Galaxy S3. There we go. Feels a lot like the Galaxy S3 in size. Let me compare that real quick. Here's the S3, but the S3 you can see is, which is also a pretty big phone, is a lot smaller. And here's the iPhone 5 to give you a comparison. Now I have set the phone up, and I wanted to restart it to kind of give you an idea what it's like when it first boots up. We'll turn it on here, and now internally it has a quad-core ARM Cortex-A9 CPU at 1.6 gigahertz. So 4 1.6 gigahertz core, 2 gigabytes of RAM, and again that 16 gigabytes of internal storage I mentioned before. It also runs Android 4.1 Jelly Bean, which should be pretty nice. Supports LTE and a lot of different CDMA bands, and also other bands as well if you have a different version off of this carrier. So if you have AT&T or T-Mobile, it does support all those different bands, but this phone is locked to Verizon. Swipe to unlock, and it's the main screen that you've come to expect from pretty much all the modern Samsung phones, just like the S3. The phone itself has this little pen here, this S Pen. When you take it out, it makes like a little swoosh sound. And you can see it says, discover your creativity. And if I hover this up here, I don't know if you can see this on the screen, but it's sensitive enough to know where the tip of the pen is as I'm moving it around. I do like how this one has the ability to store the pen right on the phone. It's much nicer than having to use separate storage or clip it in your pocket like you do with the LG version, like the Intuition. You can see we can write. It does have a little button on here as well. I'm not going to get into all the different features yet, but I want to play around with it before I do a full review. The battery, I forgot to mention, has about 22 hours of talk time, is 3,100 milliamp hours, and should be on standby for about 10.5 days on 3G or 12.5 days on 4G. So pretty good sized battery compared to most phones out there. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of battery life we get with this. So I'll play around with the camera. Again, 8 megapixel camera, takes 1080p video, so it should be pretty nice overall. Let's see if we go to Zollotech. It loaded right up. Pretty fast. Initial impressions. with the phone. It seems to handle that with no problem. So I'll take a little bit closer look at this, try and answer any questions you might have. And if you do have those questions, please place them in the comments below. As always, thanks for watching. This is Aaron. I'll see you next time.